Hello everybody, and welcome. I am ButteryGreg, and I'm here with game number 3 of Eternal Plague vs. Team Legion. This is the NASL Team League qualifiers. We're currently in round 1, which I think is 64 teams. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter. I'll find the bracket and link it to you guys later. I'm sure you all actually already know where it is. But in any case, game number 3 here is going to be on NASL Antiga Shipyard. And spawning in the top left, we've got Eternal Plague's JakeBake. And his opponent from Team Legion, who's currently up 2-0, is going to be Boss. And I guess I should introduce their races. JakeBake, of course, is red Zerg, and Boss is going to be the yellow Protoss. I think Boss was red last time, so I'm pretty sure neither of these players really care about which color they are. It's amusing, some people are always like, I gotta be green, or I gotta be gray. And then other players are like, yeah, I'm just gonna pick whichever color I get assigned to by joining the game, you know? In any case, cross positions, of course, which means pretty much that Boss can do a forge first, no problem again. He has set up his pylon at his ramp, same thing. I've seen people forge first in 2 different places on this map. Some people do the ramp like this. Personally, I like forge firsting back here in SimCitying with my Nexus, but it comes down to personal preference. In any case, we're seeing really very similar openers to last game. Of course, JakeBake wasn't in the last game, but I think he followed along or knows what's going on. So we'll see how he adapts to Boss's PvZ style. He's going with a very similar opener, but it would be a shame to see him fall to exactly the same thing, you know? Because in this situation, right, Boss doesn't really have that much incentive to change up his playstyle, because it won pretty handily last game. So it's on the player from Eternal Plague to adapt and do something different to upset Boss's style. So we'll see exactly how he manages to do that this game. Now, as far as Antiga Shipyard goes, I think this is really a great map for 2 reasons. And, well, maybe 2. I don't know. I just like saying there's 2 reasons. But the first reason is that you can take an easy third, and that this third doesn't favor any races. Like, on some maps, taking your third favors Zerg a lot. But here, there's a really central defensive area in the middle here, so your army can stand here, and you can use gateways to block off this ramp. So you're able to funnel units into one place, and you can take a safe third. At the same time, there's a lot of open airspace around the third and the main, because the map is rotationally symmetric, and there's a lot of opportunity for harassing as a result. So you can bring in warp prisms, you can do sentry drops. I mean, I don't do sentry drops, but I like warp prism harasses a lot. You can set up proxy pylons, like if you hide one back here, all kinds of things. So I think you can get a really diverse set of games. And we see this game, JakeBake's actually going for the really fast third. This is definitely a slight change. I've seen a couple players do this. This works really well if you're able to pull it off. He knows he's going to be safe for the time being because he saw Boss go for a later Zealot harass than last game. So he doesn't need to make this really more than this first set of Zerglings. And then he can reassign some money and get this hatchery a minute sooner, which increases his drone production that much faster and gives him 3 bases to mine from. So like worst case, he could mine the near patches at all 3 bases and make way more money than he could mining near and far at 2 bases, for instance. Or, well, way more. It's, maybe like 50 more minerals a minute or something. But every little bit counts, so it's pretty useful. We see Boss is really moving into the same phase of the game here. He's added his cybernetics core. He's waiting to start +1 in that Zealot until he has the Stargate going down. Sending on a little bit of a probe to scout here. He's got one more probe in the middle, but it's definitely going to get picked off by this Zergling. Here comes the Stargate and the +1, so I'm sure we'll see the Zealot come out of here very soon. It's going to be pretty much exactly the same thing that we saw last game. JakeBake's third is up, so he's transferred a couple of drones here. He's going to have to reassign these to the near patches if he wants optimal mining, but no big deal. Ooh, okay, I thought this queen was going all the way over here to inject this hatchery. That's not what you want to have happen. But she's just going to poop out a creep tumor. That's cool. And another thing JakeBake's doing a little bit differently. He didn't get fast speed, but he's grabbed both of his geysers now. So this suggests that he's going to go to layer tech pretty soon. And then he's going to have either Hydralisks or Mutalisks to defend against this push that comes from Boss. Because remember, we got to wait for this Void Ray, and we got to wait for that He might not have the Hydralisks or the Mutalisks on time, but the tech will happen while his third is getting attacked. And Hydralisks are very good against gateway units. They're very good against air units. Of course, to spite me, he throws down a Roach Warren. Roaches are also great for defending. So looks like he's just going to take these 2 gas geysers. He's not going to take any at his natural or his third. So he's just going to plan on defending against this with roaches. He's going to need a couple more queens in that case, because he might lose some queens early on, so he wants to be able to kill off that Void Ray. +1 is almost done, so we see that Boss's Zealots and Void Rays are moving out. This is almost identical to last game. And this is one of the cool things about Antiga Shipyards, of course. You can set up this proxy pylon. It's very close, but it's very safe. It would be very difficult for Zerg to come down here and kill this pylon. Anyway, here come the Zealots and the Void Ray. And one thing about these destructible rocks, Boss is actually not doing. What he could have done is he could charge up his Void Ray on these rocks before moving in, and then have a large attack bonus when the time comes. I think JakeBake is in a pretty good defensive position at the moment. He's got these roaches coming out, which is going to be huge. He's got a lot of queens. He hasn't lost any queens yet. These Zealots are getting in here and they're picking off tons and tons of Zerglings. Very nice transfuse going on that queen. We've got a Spine Crawler, we've got lots of queens, and we've got a bunch of roaches in position. Although, as I said, he was doing very well. Boss is taking the army advantage right now. He's cleaned up all the roaches and the lings that were here. He's warped in a couple of stalkers. He managed to clean out a couple of queens. So he is getting some drone kills, but the Protoss numbers are definitely dwindling, and I fear that Boss is overcommitting by warping in these extra units. He most likely wanted to just back out of here. He's up against roaches and Zerglings. He's not going to be able to handle that with just Zealots. He could try to focus down this queen, of course, but he definitely needs to back out of here before he loses everything. Everything being this Void Ray at this point, because he doesn't have any other units left. But, you know, behind that we see that, if we pull up the units tab, Boss is ahead in probes. So, let me pull up Workers Killed tab to make this a little bit more apparent. He did get some drone kills, and that's good because it sort of sets JakeBake's economy back, but most importantly, he forced JakeBake to make all this army. And that means he had to spend larvae on things that weren't drones. So he's able to delay Zerg from expanding his economy. And, you know, he can sort of stay ahead as a result, even though he's on 2 base against 3 base, of course, and he lost a lot of army in that battle, but he still has the stronger economy, which he won't have for very long, but if he gets his tech up, he can do another strong push pretty soon and be able to take a third behind it. He's got another forge coming down, so he can start getting double upgrades at once. He's got +1 armor on the way, +2 attack. And back in the Zerg base, we see he's going to layer tech, which is good. He's defended this early push, so now he can afford to get some strong tech units, maybe some Mutalisks, do some harass, or possibly Hydralisks, or, you know, drops. Overlord drops are great. Do Hydralisk drops, that kind of thing. Maybe a Nidus Worm. Who knows? It'd be cool to see a Nidus Worm. He's taken a lot of gas at all of his bases, so I would guess that he's going either for Mutalisks or Infestors. And either would be a good choice, really, because Mutalisks are great for harassing and Infestors are great for dealing with massive Blink Stalker balls, because you can root the Stalkers in place, of course. It looks like Boss is going to be going for a lot of Stalkers. He's got Twilight Council again, but no upgrades selected. Most likely will be Blink based on how many Stalkers he's warped in. And, well, let's see here. I just gotta wait. There's the Spire. Okay. So he's going to be going for Mutalisks. I think this is a really standard transition in ZVP. We see Zerg go Lings early on, and then it had to be adapted, of course, which is to go for Roaches to stay alive. But now he's going to go for Mutalisks and try to do that harass. So what we're going to need to see Boss do here is get Blink, and maybe get some Phoenixes. He really hasn't used the Stargate very much, except for that first Void Ray. So if he gets Blink and has enough Stalkers, he can definitely defend against these Mutalisks, but if not, he doesn't have very much static defense in his main or at his natural. He's got all his cannons up here at the ramp, so with his army out of position like this, a really nice Mutalisk attack could definitely do some damage. But we gotta make it to that part of the game here. We got a big push coming out of Boss. JakeBake supply blocked briefly, but he had a bunch of overlords in production, so he's going to do okay. Still has this proxy pylon. He's able to use it to warp in some units. He's probably going to take down these backdoor rocks. Yeah, there we go. Take down these backdoor rocks, move up into the third. JakeBake has an army, but I don't think it's a particularly strong army against Boss's unit composition. These sentries are great for deflecting Zerglings, and oh, there's no blink. Oh my god, Boss, you don't have blink, man. You need blink. When you want to do this, you gotta have blink for your stalkers, but it's okay. He has a pretty serious army advantage. First Mutalisks are just coming out, but we've got a large ball of Stalker Sentry, and with Guardian Shield and Boss's upgrades, he's got 2-1 upgrades. These Mutalisks do a lot less damage to the Gateway army here. Nice burrow on the drones. Boss does not have any detection with him, so he's not going to be able to kill them, but he does get the hatchery, and he's going to be able to proceed into the main. No, wait, he does have detection. Holy shit, there's his observer. I was like, he's magic, man. You can see these burrow drones. His observer's right there. I just didn't see it for a moment. And Boss pulling ahead with a strong food advantage as he moves up into the main. Warping in a couple more stalkers. He still doesn't have blink, though. Holy crap, that's a lot of spine crawlers. Unfortunately, I think most of them are going to die before they can do anything. These immortals tend to do massive amounts of damage against structures that are armored, like static defense. So I think that, yep, there we go. Boss takes the game, so Boss is going to go up 3-0 against Team Eternal Plague.